there, I'm Michelle Crafty Servings. This is my first live on YouTube. I've been live on Facebook a lot. I've been live on Pinterest. I wanted to come on live on YouTube. So today I'm making my take on a button tree. I love using buttons. I use a button, at least one button in probably 99% of my crafts. I always have to put just that little twist on it. Whether it shows completely or not, I don't know. But today we're using more buttons. I've got my favorite jar of buttons out that we're going to be using, and we're going to be using one of these planks. You can use anything you want for this. It's going to be pretty. It's my take on the button tree. You see them everywhere. You see wreaths. I'm going to do a little something different, and I hope you like it. So these planks, it doesn't matter what you use. Like I said, it could be one of these planks. It could use a vase. You could use whatever. This is from, I believe this is a Walmart one. You can get them at Dollar Tree or Dollar General, whichever you prefer. I'm just going on and seeing if I can't get on here and see what I'm seeing so that you see it's the same thing. If you come on while I'm live, come say hi. I love chatting, and we'll maybe get to see you on here. So I already removed, this comes with a jute hanger. I already pulled the staples. Sometimes if you do something upright, you could reuse the cord and just put it right on top. We're not going to need that today. I also have the scrapbook paper. This one is from Hobby Lobby. All right, so I'm just going to measure this out. It fits perfectly top to bottom on here, which is great. So I just have to measure from side to side, and all I'm going to do is lay it on here. See if I can't get you a little bit more light in here. Just trying to get a little more light down here for you guys. See if that helps. All right, so all I'm going to do is just lift this up, and I'm going to make a crease. All right. And we're going to cut that off then, right along the crease. We are going to have to sand it just a little bit, and I'm actually going to age up the edges a little bit too, so this doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to go right on there. Doesn't matter what side. Let me put it on this side. And I'm just using matte Mod Podge. You can use whatever you want. You honestly probably could glue it on too. Whatever's going to work for you. We're just going to put a good layer on here. Make sure you get it all the way to the edges. And whatever way you choose to do Mod Podge, you might use the burn method, you might use the iron method, whatever way you like will work perfectly for this. Another thing I like Mod Podging is fabric. If you have a cute fabric that you think would work good with this, that would be awesome, because that certainly would work also, just putting some fabric on. All right, I'm just going to lay this on here. Line it up the best we can. And we'll push out all those air bubbles. Right. Even if there's a few wrinkles, it's okay, but scrapbook paper usually doesn't cause many wrinkles. Once in a while, you'll get a bubble on it. All right. I'm just going to take the sander and sand off these edges. I actually got the sander from Temu. I had placed one order with them, which I was fine with. It was good. But that's where I got this, and I love it. You can get it at any store or use any sandpaper you want. And I'm going to do each edge, even if it looks like it's not over, it just might help a little bit for the aging of it. We're just going to use a little ink on it to get that aging on the edges. That's all we need. Clean up my mess. All right, so what I'm going to use is, I usually use the Mocha ink pad. Of course, I'm not finding it. Let me just see. I want to see if I can see my camera. Yeah, I want to see if you could see it the right way. So all I'm going to do is use, this is an ink pad. I'm just using a little daubing it on, and we're going to do right along these edges, and you can see that just adds a little something to it. See a little bubble there. Just push that back down. And do all the way around. And that's just going to blend in with the buttons that I chose to use on here. All right, and make sure, if you come on while I'm live, come on and say hi. I'd love to know you're out there. So this ink pad, I'm a maker with close to my heart. So that's where I got this ink pad from. But whatever you have and whatever color you choose works. All right, so we just did that edging like that. I'm done with that. Okay, now we're going to get the buttons out, and we're going to already start on this project. So I love getting a button of these buttons from Walmart. It's always a button full or a jar full of brown buttons. And you see there's all different, I mean, I've got a couple jars in here or partial jars in here. So that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm just going to put some out here. And I'm not going to use any of these funny shaped ones. I love using them, but not for something like this. So we're just going to lay a couple out. And we're going to start just by making a base. And for the base, I'm going to choose 2 of them that are maybe close to the same size like that. All right. And then I'm just going to be putting some buttons on here. And it's not hard to put this together. You can, it doesn't matter what size buttons, you just want to shape it up like a tree. But if you notice, what I'm going to be doing is it's not going to be all tight together. We're going to have big buttons, we're going to have small buttons, and there's going to be like little spaces in between too, but that's gonna, you know, look really cute with the next step that we do. So just lay a bunch on. We're not going to do a lot of layering. There will be some layers. Just put all different sizes, all different of these colors on. We're going to add a little bit of color into it to make it extra cute. So again, I'm just right now getting them on here. To make the shape of the tree. It's not particular. There's some that have patterns, like that's a baseball, and that's really cute in crafts, but not on this one. We're not going to do that on this one. All right. Just lay them out. Lift it a little bit. And if you like, you know, maybe some of these places have a little bit smaller ones and you want a little bigger just to make it a little bit interesting, go ahead and do that. But then you start making these outside ones a little bit wider. And then you're going to make little you know, have some come out a little bit, but it's going to form into a tree shape is what your goal is. Let's get that big one out of there. I think I keep putting that same one back in here. All right, I think. All right, so now I'm just going to, like, you know, maybe spread out a little bit so you can see that. And gradually get it into that tree shape that you want. So that's looking pretty good, actually. But by spreading some out, what that's doing is creating almost like a branch effect on it. All right, and then we're going to add a few in here as layers. Just as a little bit as a layer. We're not going to do a lot, because we're also going to paint some of them to make it look really pretty. We're going to end up actually painting almost all of them, but you'll see as we do it. So I'm just adding just a few of them on here just as a layer. That one fell down in there, that's fine. And maybe we'll just add in, there's all different shapes in this jar too. Maybe we'll just add another one down here. And maybe just one in here. All right, so that's the start of it. Now we got a lot more that we're gonna do on this yet. Let me see if we can't get you in here. And all I'm gonna do, I think I'll use my fabric tack. You can use hot glue, fabric tack. I do have my B7000 laying here in case I want to do that. We're just going to go ahead and glue all these down. Okay, let's try and get my shape back a little bit. So this is going to be the most tedious part. Just wait till you see how pretty it turns out. You don't need a lot of glue, just get a little bit on each one. And these buttons are two-sided, so it really doesn't matter what side you use. Some might be a light side, some might be a dark. Just use whatever you feel is giving you interest. You just want to go through and glue each one down. Now this fabric tack works awesome. It's clear, it dries clear. It takes a little longer to set up than a hot glue, but working with little buttons, I think you end up burning yourself a little more too if you use your hot glue. And as you're going, you're just going to check yourself to see if each one is glued as you're going. I'm going to get glue on you too. A little bit on here. I need to get my wet wipes here. Definitely getting it on me. So why don't you tell me in the comments, because I know a lot of you won't be seeing this live. Most everybody won't see this live because it's my first live. But tell me in the comments, have you ever done anything with buttons to make either a wreath or a tree? Like I said, this is going to be a different take on it. It's going to look like a winter tree. And you can have it up from now until spring. Look at this one, even had a cute dog paw, but we're covering that up. I really don't want that on my tree. It's okay if a little glue shows in places. Like I said, if this dries clear. Even if you're using hot glue that comes up through the middle of the buttons, it's all right. You really probably won't see it. So this is probably the most tedious part of the whole process. It's making sure all of these are glued on. Let's put this one back up on here. And we'll find out when we put it back down how good we did at picking all our buttons up. This can be pretty therapeutic too. Honestly, it can be relaxing doing a craft like this. Now you probably will notice some glue strings. That's okay. If you just go and get your hair hair dryer, or if you get a heat gun and you just blow that over the top of it, all those will melt. All right, that one did have some on. All right, I'd say we're about halfway done with these. And then we're gonna start painting a little bit of color. So if you are new watching me and have not watched me before, this is my first YouTube live. I've been on Facebook for almost 5 years now, so I do a lot of lives there, but I want to start doing more on here. I have started in the recent year adding some of my edited videos from there onto here, but I'm excited that I don't have to edit this one. And keep your hands on these buttons, and when you start getting the glue on, that's when you're going to start having a little bit of sticking on your fingers. So I'll keep wiping that off. All right, I'd say we're about 2/3 of the way done with this part of the buttons. We started off with this. It was just a plain board, and we put scrapbook paper on it. You could also use fabric. I love using Mod Podge with fabric. You could also just leave it as a plain painted surface too. But I thought this looks really, really cute with these buttons. Like I said, we're going to be adding color yet, so they're going to stand out even more on this board. But can you see the tree starting to take shape? I mean, it looks misshaped in places, but that's okay. As long as it gradually gets smaller for you. Let's take that one off. Figure out what ones I've done so far here. Fabric Tech does set up pretty quickly. And I love that it dries clear. And there's no rhyme or reason to which buttons where. I just want to create a little bit of interest in all different places. So there's small, there's larger, there's different colors, different patterns, but some of that will be covered up. Oh, we got my buddy Cash here. He just walked away. Cash likes to come on my lives right at the beginning to say hi. So if you ever see him, you'll see him on my Facebook page. I don't think he's been on my Pinterest lives. I haven't gone on there for a while though. All right, that one on top. Gonna add a few of these I know we pulled off. Just to get a little bit of layering in there. Maybe we'll add one here too. Okay, so I'm just gonna lift this up just to see if there's any completely loose. I did pretty good. I did pretty good. All right, next we're gonna grab some little ones. I'm just gonna shift these a little bit. Just get more of that shape that I want. All right, you see that taking shape? Okay, but now we're gonna make it extra cute. We're gonna grab some of these real little ones. So you don't always have a time to use these. Well, this will be perfect for it. Okay, that's probably gonna be enough. You don't need too many of them. And all I'm gonna do, so I have this is Tuscan red. It's home decor, the folk art. Chalk, but you don't need that. Use apple barrel, Tuscan red, use any other kind of red that you like, and you don't need much. If you want to skip this step, you certainly can do that too. So let's, I'm just looking what one we're gonna use. Let's use this brush. All I'm gonna do is paint the top of each one, and it doesn't have to be a full coverage either. If you want, it might be easier if you put it on like tape, like painter's tape or something, masking tape, something upside down so that you don't have to try and get your fingers on top of here and hold all of it, but you don't need that full coverage when you do this. This is sort of a rustic craft that's going to turn out really, really cute when it's done, but just that little touch of red really is going to add a little something. And the red looks different on whether you're using a light color button or a dark color button. It looks totally different on each one. So let's just put that, let's put that back in here. And dry them up just a touch. And then we're going to glue them on. Place them around just to get an idea of what we're doing. Again, this is only the start. There's more we're going to be doing, which is going to add even more color to this. But let's just add these in places so that we have an idea if I might have to paint a few more or if we're pretty good with it. We're actually pretty good. We'll put one right down in there, and maybe we'll put one right up towards the top. All right, I think we probably need one more. Just one more. And we'll leave this one to glue on for last. Let's put this one down over there. Okay, I think we're pretty good. I've got the red spread out on there. Let's go ahead and just start gluing this now. you have a tweezer, that might work picking these up. I know my fingers are sort of in the way, but I wanted the camera on that side because when I start painting on here, I'm going to be using my right hand. So that's going to be in the way if I do on the other side. So right now I'm a little bit in your way from what you're seeing, and I apologize for that. Here. Definitely gonna get paint and glue on you for this project. Did good again. Some of that off. All right, I'm gonna get this mess out of our way. I think I'm done with buttons. I think I'm done with them. All right, this is where we're at. Now we're gonna add some more cuteness to it. All right, so I'm going to use the vintage white. This is Folk Art Vintage White. And we're going to start putting some snow on the buttons. Use whatever color you have again. And all I'm going to do is just dab, let's see, you can see that, just dab this on, and you can make the brush. So you can see how putting that together. You can put it on the red buttons, or we're going to put it just on the tops of most of the buttons. And that's going to make it look like they're snowy. So this is what's going to make it look more of a winter decor. And then I'm going to show you, we're going to add a little more color to this yet besides this. But I wanted to get one coat of this white on because we're going to do one more coat just to make it nice and bright and vibrant. Getting in my way here. All right, just on the top of the ones that you can touch on, like the ones underneath, don't worry about it. It's not going to make a difference. And the second layer, we're going to make it a little thicker so that it looks a little more like it could be snow. Dab a little on there. Just do that all the way down the tree. You can come down onto the top of the button a little bit. See how that's getting? Adding that snow on. And just work your way down. And so we're going to give it a second layer, but we'll go through, we're going to add a little bit of green on some of these buttons too now. And then we have one more touch even besides that, which will add just more cuteness on here. Few of them feel like they're a little bit not quite as dry, either not as dry or they need a little more glue, but you can figure that out when you're done too, if you think you need any more glue. And just do the tops of all of them, come down onto the front a little bit. any color white that you want. This vintage white really blends really well with the background paper that I put on, and that's why I chose the vintage color. But if you like the bright whites, go ahead and use that. It doesn't matter, whatever you have. That button feels a little loose there, so may end up having to tighten that one, adding a little more glue. So how are you liking this so far? Is that something you think you might do? I think this is a really cute twist on the button trees. I mean, I've never seen anybody do anything like this. And, you know, I love the button trees. I love using buttons. I always use buttons. But I just think I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I had this in my head of doing like a winter tree, which I just think is so perfect. It would be a great gift. It's just perfect for your decor if this is what you like. You can change it up really to the colors that you like. The background could be any type of any other color background. It could be fabric. It could be other scrapbook paper. It could just be painted background. It's just so many variations you could do on this to make it your own. That button is also a little bit loose. I see some of them moving as I'm dabbing on them. So those will end up being tightened up. Just trying to catch all the ones where I feel that it may look like snow might fall. But I'm not going to do down on here. Okay, this is the start then. What do you think? Isn't that cute? All right, let's just put that over here. Now I'm going to take evergreen. This is deco art. Use whatever you have. I like the darker color because I don't want it to stand out a lot. And this is just going to be a messy painting. I'm just using a thin brush. And I'm honestly just not on the green. I'm just dabbing a little. And I'm not coloring the whole thing. And I'll show you. And some of it you're not going to see because the button is so dark. But it might just add that hint of green. But look at how messy I'm just coloring on there. All right, it's just adding that little bit of green to it. Just on all of the background. I'm not doing it on the red ones. I'm just doing it on all the ones that are not red. If you happen to hop off a button, it's okay. I just did that too. We're going to have even one more point of interest on here that's going to really kick this up just a little bit more again to add another twist onto these button trees. It just is going to make it extra cute. So when we're done with this painting part, we've got one more step to do, and then we're going to add just a little bow, I believe, on the bottom of the tree. Again, I'm not painting anything a solid color. I'm just adding a little bit of green paint on each one of these buttons. And it'll show up more on some than others. If you think you have to add a little more red in, add a few more of those red buttons. I don't plan on really putting anything down on those, the tree stump buttons. No purpose to it. Unless you want to add maybe a little gold or something would be cute. I think I'm almost all the way through, and then we'll do one more coat of the white, and then we're going to add another element to this whole project. All right, there, we've got the green added in. All right, let's go back to that vintage white again, and now I'm going to make it a little bit thicker on them so that it does look like snow. And this, the folk art, which is the kind of paint that I'm using, this is actually a little bit thicker. You get it at Hobby Lobby, any craft store. It's a little bit thicker than some of the other paints that you get. So that's why I really like this one too, because you can really build up that, that paint on there. And that's the purpose of that second layer. The first layer is just to get some on there, and then the second layer you can really add that in, add that a little bit thicker. You can see how quick and easy this would be too. And if you need a last minute Christmas gift, this would be perfect. You probably have a lot of what you already need at home. You probably do. Now you can get buttons anywhere too. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. These are Walmart ones. They're actually one of my favorite. They come in a jar and they're all different browns. But as you can tell, it doesn't matter that they're brown on here completely because we did add a lot of paint to it. All right, we're almost all the way to the bottom. Even if you have like some snow tech, that's a little thicker and a little harder to work with. You could do that, or you can make your own fake snow also to put on here. It just works so nice being able to use just this thin paintbrush to put it on. All right, we're almost done here. All right, cute. Can you see that on there? Now on my computer, I do look a little blurry. I'm not quite sure why. I hope that you can see that. But let's all right, let's do the next step. So we're going to add a little more element to it. This is Hobby Lobby. I use this all the time for like carrots. Usually is a big one I use it for. Pick up some of these. It's just so fine. Now this is really, honestly, it is pretty expensive at Hobby Lobby. If you have something different, you know, go ahead and use it, but you don't use much of it for this. So I'm okay using it. And honestly, okay, so what we're gonna do is pick a bunch of these off. We're not using the whole thing. We're just going to pick off pieces of it. You might be able to use like a topper like that, might be good. That might even be enough. Just do that. Okay. And then I'm going to take some fabric tack. Now this dries sort of fast when it's just on a plate like this. So you're going to see that I'm going to start doing, I'll have to keep coming back and putting more on just because it's drying so quickly. So what I'm going to do is just take these little pieces and dab it in that glue, just the end in that glue. And put it in between. Now, if you want, you can just play with it first and lay it around in different places. And certainly do that. See, I want a little bit coming up in here. Let's do a little piece on that other side. See, it's already starting to dry on here. So you could definitely use other glue too. It doesn't dry quite as quick. But you definitely want it clear. Just laying it around in places. You can see that greenery in there. It just adds another level of cute, another level of color. Just, like I said, you can definitely place it on everywhere you want first so that you know it's where you would want it, and then just pull it off and start gluing. You can put a little bit in the middle and have it stick up a little bit. I do like it all sort of facing so that it's all going to be facing up these branches. So most of my little branches like this will face up. So that's more tree shaped like that. Okay, if you are watching me live, which now I see that it says my chat is disabled for the live stream. I'm not quite sure why. If that's normal or if there was something I needed to set differently. But next live, I will check that out if there was something I should have done separate. So I apologize if I'm not seeing comments and you're trying to comment, or there's just no place for you to comment. You can certainly, I would think you can certainly still comment. I just might have to answer some comments after. Anyway, let's just a little piece in here. We're going to add this little bit in the middle in here again. Getting that little green in between. And this is just so fine and airy that I think it just works with this. It doesn't take away from everything else. Almost done. After we're done with this part of it, then we're going to add in add a bowl. So there's two options. You could do, well, there's a lot of options, but for my options, I could do a raffia bow, which I'll show you. I did that on the one that I completed. I actually tried doing this live on Facebook yesterday, and I got kicked off, and I couldn't get back on. So I said I would do this out here. But so that one I did do with a raffia bow, but I have another ribbon I think is going to be really cute with this that we're going to try. We're going to make a bow with that. Okay, and down here I'm going to make some that come down, just so you see that little bit of green. It's not going to be a lot. And use as much or as little as you like. We're going to add a little more inside of here. Just to fill in a little bit of the gaps. You're not filling in all of them though. This glue just dries so fast. You can certainly find a glue that doesn't do that. But I do like how it's clear. All right, just got to add a little bit more green in places. And then we'll do up that bow. These are the tiniest little pieces I'm putting in right now. Now, I do have a picture of this already out on my Facebook page. I also have a little short video of it out on the shorts on YouTube here. The finished one that I had from yesterday that I finished off camera. All right, I think this is really, really taking shape. Now I'll show you the one from yesterday too. This is really the last one. All right, so we're gonna put a bow with this. Look how cute that is. Isn't that cute? So again, I'm not sure if you're seeing this very clear. I apologize if it's blurry. I'm watching live here and it does look blurry to me. All right, so the bow that I debated on, this ribbon you can get at Hobby Lobby, and I just did a simple finger bow and put it together. So let's just put, let's dry this up a little bit and then we'll decide where we're gonna put that bow. I'm going to put it right at this base like this. I think that'll be really cute on there. Now, usually what I do after I do my bows, there's usually a button or something that ends up on the top of the bow. I don't think I need that on here. I think I have enough buttons. Just put that on there. It's a little bit, not quite so tacky yet, but isn't that pretty? It's just so cute. So let me show you the one I did yesterday, and I used a raffia bow on it. This is the one from yesterday, and that was with the raffia bow. So, I mean, they're both really similar. I really, really like this little ribbon that I have on here, though. So you can see this one is a little skinnier, this tree. You can see a little more of the branches that way, where this one is a little bit wider. But I mean, they're both just really, really cute. You could put a little star on the top. You could put a little bell on the top of it. Or, I mean, I have star buttons, which I don't have out. That would be really cute on the top of one. But so anyhow, I hope you enjoyed my very first YouTube live, and I plan on wanting to come on live more in the future. So again, if you like this, please give me thumbs up. Please comment. That'll help pass it on. And we'll see y'all really soon if I can figure out how to turn off my Facebook Live.